Well, that's it for me. Jules Holland is up next. He's speaking to Italian superstar Zucchero about his life and career, and I'll be back with you same time, same place next week. It's produced by Dom Tyreman and is Something Else production for BBC Radio 2, online, on digital radio and on 88 to 91 FM.
BBC News at 9 o'clock. This is Catherine Cracknell. The chairman of Network Rail, Sir Peter Hendy, has conceded his organisation is partly to blame for the timetable chaos on the rail network. The Transport Secretary, Chris Grayling, has announced that an inquiry will be held into the resulting delays and cancellations. The Labour chair of the Commons Transport Committee, Lillian Greenwood, told MPs Mr Grayling should bear some responsibility.
Why, in his letter to MPs and again today, does the Secretary of State fail to take any responsibility for his department's role in the shambles endured by passengers up and down the country?
The public inquiry into the Grenfell Tower fire has been told that a series of errors and breaches of safety measures led to the disaster. Expert reports found cladding on the building was highly flammable, and gaps around the windows helped the flames to spread. The fire brigade told residents to stay put was said to be completely wrong for the circumstances. An 18-year-old woman has been convicted of plotting a gun and grenade attack on the British Museum as part of the first all-female terrorist cell in Britain. Safa Boullah hatched the plan with her mother and sister, who admitted preparing acts of terrorism. Further evacuations have been ordered in Guatemala, where a volcano has emitted new eruptions of rocks and mud. At least 62 people have already been killed. Christian Hernandez lives less than 10 miles from the volcano and is feeling the effects.
The air is bad, but it looks like none of the places here have masks. Like, they're all running out. So, like, even if you don't want to breathe the air, you kind of have to, because everybody's running out of masks. You could feel it in your lungs, getting you dizzy, and, like, it's making your eyes really itchy.
Gwent police have revealed that they located and questioned a key suspect in the Jeremy Thorpe affair. Andrew Newton was the man said to have made the alleged murder attempt. It was thought he was dead, but it recently emerged he was living in Surrey. After talking to him, officers insist there's nothing more to investigate, as Mark Hutchins reports.
Nearly 40 years after Jeremy Thorpe was acquitted of plotting to kill his ex-lover Norman Scott, comes a statement from Gwent police confirming that a suspect who thought was dead is actually still alive. Allegations made in 2014 of corruption surrounding the Thorpe case. Gwent police say as part of that inquiry, they had reasonable grounds to assume that Andrew Newton, the alleged hired hitman, had since died. In fact, recent information proved that wrong, and officers have now spoken to him. The force say that as he was unable to provide new evidence, the case remains closed.
Radio 4's Just a Minute programme has been broadcast without its chairman, Nicholas Parsons, for the first time in more than 50 years. Giles Brandreth filled in for the 94-year-old presenter. Twitter users expressed their concern, but the BBC insisted he was just enjoying a rare day off. That's the BBC News at 3 minutes past 9. Our next at 10.
This is Radio 2's Sounds of the 80s.
Sounds of the 80s.
Every Friday night we'll turn it up and relive all your favourites from this incredible decade.
Darkness falls across the land.
Sounds of the 80s with Gary Davis.
Available now on the BBC iPlayer radio app.
Thank you, Keris, for Beautiful Blues Show. Greetings, listeners, and welcome to this show. A special broadcast this evening featuring one special artist from Italy, none other than the amazing Zucchero. But first, let's enjoy this little bit of boogie-woogie piano from Ray Charles. Zucchero, welcome to the programme. It's a great honour and a pleasure to have you here. Great legend of popular music, one of Europe's great blues musicians as well, I have to say. So I'm very pleased to have you here. Before we go any further and talk through your life, let's play a track of yours. What should we play?
Yeah, it's a song called 10 More Days. It's basically a cover from Avicii, the poor Avicii. He did it in his last album, and I love this song, this tune, because it's got some soul and bluesy inside, but it's very modern in a way.
And that's what you do a lot of the time, bring sort of a modern twist or modern take onto the blues music that you do.
Yeah, you know, blues is my first love. 10 more days on the water, and I already know I'll be fine. 10 more days till it's over, till the darkness goes and I see the light.
"10 More Days" from Zucchero, who I'm delighted to say is my guest here this evening. So Zucchero, what was your childhood in Italy? Where did you grow up?
I grew up in the north between Milan and Bologna. It's called Reggio Emilia, but in a small village, something like 700 people, and there was nothing there. Just a church in front of my house and a bar. There was a deal between me and the priest, you know. He gave me the opportunity to play organ in the church, but I have to help him with the mass. And I remember, instead of playing church music, I was playing Procolarum, for example.
and so, hang on, what sort of age were you when you were playing in this sort of church?
8 years, 7, 8 years, until 10.
I'm interested in. I like going back to this early picture of you with the bar and the church and the small village and the organ in the church. So that brings us to your choice of record here, which you've chosen, which is what?
I start with a wider shade of pale. You know that is a kind of Bach influence, and still one of my favorite track as a song, because the sound of the organ is amazing. I mean, and of course, and the line of the organ is fantastic. I mean, even John Lennon was a big fan of this song.
And he's got a great voice, Gary Brooker, hasn't he? So.
Oh yeah, fantastic.
Let's play that, Pete. Wider Shade of Pale, chosen by our guest here this evening, Zucchero. And of course, speaking of a wider shade of pale, as we were just listening to it, there's a lot of it's rather enigmatic, rather mysterious about what it means. What's your take?
I never understand what it means. Wider Shade of Pale. They try also to make an Italian cover that try to be close to the meaning, the English meaning, the original meaning. But even that, I never understand it.
Going back to this early childhood, so were your parents musical? Did you have brothers and sisters? Did you all play or sing together?
No, they was farmer, but you know, my uncle was playing harmonica, but not blues harmonica. Was playing folk harmonica, Italian folk.
Did you hear those early? Because I sometimes listen to those, when you hear people. Like Caruso or those early singers, and they have their pieces. Often they're like pop songs because they're
romanza. They're called romanza.
Yeah, 2.5 minutes long.
Fantastic piece of music. That this is another of my influence because I grew up also with Verdi, Puccini, and Mascagni, but I can't stay for an opera, I get boring, sorry. Yeah. But for the piece, they are still great and modern.
Yes.
And like now, I mean, I wish to write a melody, like a piece of melody of Nessun Dorma or Intermezzo della Cavalleria Rusticana. I wish to be able to write something like that now.
Yeah.
La cosa un'aria serena roba una tempesta l'aria fresca pareggiare che bella cosa una giornata pronta sei, son pronta sei.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, 3 minutes, all perfect.
3 minutes.
Yeah, perfect piece. So your next record you've chosen is Carpet Crawlers and Genesis. Tell us, when did this come into your...
The first country that they became big, before also England, was Italy. I don't know why, but they was not here, but in Italy they was massive.
Right.
So we were, all the musicians, that we was influenced by, Genesis thing, Peter Gabriel. So that's why I been a big fan of them and listen all the albums and try to play some of the Genesis song that wasn't easy to play at that time, because we was at the beginning. I'm always been a big fan.
And what did you chosen particularly?
Because I was playing with the band this song. In summers we played for 1 o'clock to 4 or 5 o'clock until there was someone dancing or drinking champagne or drinking whiskey.
Very good training for a musician.
Very good training because we have to play all the international stuff, including the hits of the moment, but also going back to Frank Sinatra, My Funny Valentine, Chick to Chick, and then tango, valser, and cha-cha-cha, and samba, and bossa nova. So we have to play everything. But sometimes we put something like Genesis song, one track, or some Pink Floyd stuff, just for us, just to enjoy ourselves.
But let's enjoy ourselves now.
Into flame to be destroyed, natural creatures